What's up? It's Marty here. We got another pickups video today for the month of May 2018. We got a lot of stuff to cover. Just showing all the highlights because I got about 90 games in the month of May, going to garage sales and all sorts of things like that. And not a lot of them are really anything amazing or anything really cool or uncommon. So just some good games to add to the shelf that I'll probably play eventually, but nothing super out there or anything like that. So, all right. So first thing is from Gamestop. These are not the only games that I got, but these are kind of the standouts for me. So the first one being Resonance of Fate. I was looking for this for a little while, and they had it for like $5 or $6. So figured I'd pick it up. I hear mixed things. I know it's really a difficult game, but I wanted to try it out, and it was pretty cheap. I had credit, of course, so picked that one up. Also, they had a 4 for $10, $5 or under, and I had yet to have Star Wars Battlefront. It was only $5 with that. With that deal, I got it for $2. Next up, a couple of garage sale pickups. I went garage selling, I think the first weekend of the month. Didn't really find anything. Went home, and then I eventually found a listing on Facebook, and they said they were selling games, so I picked these up. I got Metal Dungeon, which I don't know anything about, and it's probably not a very good game, and I also got Gauntlet, which is a decent game, nothing super fantastic, but they're like $2 a piece maybe, something like that. So I also got another one, but it's like $5 for all of them, so it was a pretty good deal. Then I also went to Pawn Shop that same day, I think. Picked up The Last Revenant, another JRPG, a couple bucks, and then I got Plants vs. Zombie Garden Warfare 2 for $5. I was originally going to sell it, trade it into GameStop, but $5, I figure I'll keep it. I played it for a little while. It's something that I can kind of return to. It's one of those types of games where you don't have to be super invested into it. No real story, so you can just kind of keep coming back to it. So, good game for that. Next, I believe it's only my second limited run games that I picked up. Momodora, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Action platformer. Pretty fun game. I got like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours into it, and then I put it down just because I kept getting other games that I wanted to try out. I kind of forgot about it for a little bit, so eventually I'll probably get back to it, but right now it's just kind of going to be sitting around. Okay, so next up, we got some more garage sale finds. I picked up a big bundle of PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 stuff with a PlayStation 2. Got it all for like $15. Here's some of the PlayStation 1 highlights. All the PlayStation 2 stuff, nothing was fantastic. I got like a Crash game. I'm trying to think of what else. Some Rayman games. Those are probably the highlights. But some of the other fun ones were some games that I'd never heard of. Super Bubble Pop, which I guess I also saw an Xbox version for this, so it's a little disappointing, but anyways. And also Puzzle Star Sweep. Both interesting, unique-ish puzzle games, something that's easy to pick up and play. And I also got RoboPit 2, which I'd never heard of. It seems like a pretty cool game. It's like a fighting game where you customize different parts of the robot and fight with them. So that's good. And then a classic for me, Crash Bash. This is a game I played a lot with my cousins when I was growing up. We played the heck out of this. This was, instead of having Mario Party, which for whatever reason we didn't have, this is what we played. So this is kind of our replacement for Mario Party, since we didn't know Mario Party existed. And then the final garage sale find of that day, picked up my first PSP game. I figure I'll start collecting them if I can get them for cheap. I want to get a PSP eventually, so Daxter, I think I got it for like $1, so it was a pretty good deal. Next up, some more GameStop finds, and these were all from Pro Day. So the new ones that I got for Pro Day, got Shadow of War. They're selling for just $10, and Persona 5 for 25. So not an insane deal for Persona 5, but I figure I'll pick it up sometime. 25 is a good price to be paying right now. It might go down, but it's one of those JRPGs that's probably going to stay at least $20 for a while. So figured I'd pick it up when I could. Some other games that I thought would be fun to just pick up with extra 10% off. Tearaway, played the demo, wasn't amazed by it, but fun game for like $7. Not a bad find. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, I've been playing a lot of this, probably like 20 hours in, having a lot of fun with it. It's nice to see some of the Digimon that I am familiar with, because I watched a little bit. Growing up, I was never super into it, so it's nice to see some of the things that I am aware of, and then some of the guys that I've never seen before, so that's pretty cool. Yakuza Kiwami, I haven't played a Yakuza game. This is one of the cheaper ones to get for the PS4, so I figured I'd pick it up, give it a try, but I haven't tried it yet. Another JRPG, I've heard some good, some bad. Time and Eternity, so I believe it's turn-based. Apparently the perspective on walking around and stuff is kind of weird, but again, it was $10 with like 30% off, so it wasn't a bad find. And then also one that I wasn't planning on picking up, but I saw it and I was like, oh, I remember hearing about this. Code of Princess. So this is a action JRPG. I beat it because it's really short. I think I could beat it within like 4 hours. So it's got some quirky humor, fun characters. The combat's okay. It's nothing super awesome or super fun, but it keeps your interest enough for you to finish the game because it is so short. And there's lots of different characters you can play with. I just played with the main one, but you can kind of play through it with these different perspectives, and each of the different characters have different skills and things like that. So there's a lot of replayability to it. So I might pick it up sometime in the future to replay it. Next, went to a pawn shop, picked up some games for cheap. No More Heroes, got it for $2. It's a Wii game that I'm pretty familiar with. I never actually played it, but I remember hearing lots of things when it came out, when the Wii was popular, so I feel like it would really be a decent game. Circus Maximus for the Xbox for like $2. Again, not really a game that I know anything about. But it's like a chariot kart racer thing, so it seems a pretty interesting idea, pretty unique. So I figured I'd pick it up. It was like $2. And then last, another PSP game that I probably didn't need to buy, Sonic Rivals 2. Got it for like $5. Maybe overpaid for it because I don't need it, can't play it right now. But figured I'd pick it up to kind of get a better bundle deal of things. I also went to a local shop. I traded some stuff in, and I picked up a couple older games because I don't really find them anywhere else for decent prices. So I got Lego Racers. I think that was like $5. Aero the Acrobat for maybe $7. This is a nice, fun platformer. Pretty good. And then a weird one, Mohawk and Headphone Jack. This one, I remember hearing something about it. It was probably like a hidden gem type thing or weird game list. It is definitely strange. So it's basically a platformer, but the gravity will shift. Like if you jump high enough, you'll be walking on the ceiling type of thing. And it's really hard to figure out what's going to happen and how to control everything. There's probably ways to do it, but when I tried it out, it was really confusing, and I couldn't figure out how to even get to the second level or what I was supposed to do to get to the second level. So I did look some stuff up online, and it doesn't seem too hard, but overall, pretty confusing game. I could probably have some fun with it, but definitely confusing. Next up, just a quick pickup. I picked it up with some cheaper games. It wasn't something I was super interested in, but I got Moto Racer 4. Never played any of these games, but it was $5. I figured it'd be a fun racing game. it does have 2 players, so if I have someone over, or if I want to try a different racing game, I still haven't got a chance to play it because I've been playing so much Digimon, but $5. But I traded some stuff into a different shop, Disc Replay, and I saw that they had Deadly Premonition for the Xbox 360. It was under $10, which was pretty crazy because I think it sells online for like 20, 15, 20. So it's a really good deal. It's not the director's cut version that is on the PS3, the best version. And when I put it in and played it for like 5 minutes, the beginning cutscenes and stuff, the graphics looked like a PS2 game, but it's supposed to be pretty good, a hidden gem. And I got it for a good price, so eventually I'll get around to playing it. And then finally, wow, all this stuff, almost all this next stuff is from going to St. Louis. Went to a bunch of Gamestops around the area because they had some of the hidden gems that I was looking for, and usually they have them pretty well priced because there's not a lot of people looking for them. But before I left, I noticed that I had a buy 2 get 1 for any pre-owned games. So I picked up 2 of the Switch games that I traded in for like $51. Paid like 90 something for them and got ARMS for free. Played this a lot when I was on my trip to St. Louis. Haven't played it a ton since, but it's a really nice, fun pick up and play game. And they have lots of different updates, so they're always changing things, adding things to it. So and getting it for free. It was a game that I've been looking for a while. Glad to have it. So this is all not necessarily in the right order that I got it because I went all over the place. But I went to trading games and was going to try to trade stuff in. They wouldn't give me as much as GameStop would, so I decided not to. But I did pick up Section Z and Patapon. Just kind of wanted to pick something up there. These were decently priced. I can't remember exactly what they were, but less than $15 for the pair. Probably overpaid for them, but I don't think they're going to be games that I'm going to be able to find super easily either. So I believe Section Z is a kind of a unique shoot 'em up, and then Patapon, it almost seems like, I can't remember what it's called, but kind of like a strategy game where you're just going from one side to the other. While I was there, I also bought a new 3DS bundle. Got 4 games for 4 games plus the new 3DS with the charger and everything for $100. 2 of the games that I'm keeping is Animal Crossing New Leaf and Fire Emblem Echoes. So games that I've been looking for a while. New Leaf I wanted for a long time. It's not something that I'm probably going to get super into, but just a nice kind of pick up and play game. And then Fire Emblem, I beat Awakening a while back, and I wanted to kind of get another taste of it, so I'll get into that eventually. Next up, another Switch game. It just came out not too long ago, but if I got it used, it was $10 cheaper. So I got Wild Guns used for $20 at GameStop. Another pretty good deal. They were the only ones that sell it for $30, and getting it for $20, basically new. I mean, it was pre-owned, but what's wrong with a pre-owned Switch game? The case looks fine, so it's basically like new to me. Maybe it is missing some keychain thing or something, but I don't really care. But that is a fun game too. I keep saying this over and over again, but it's a fun pick up and play game, and it's a good game to play co-op too. If you have someone over, and you don't really need to be super into games, you just have to have decent hand-eye coordination. So, okay. I'm just going to take a stack here because these are, again, all games that I picked up at GameStop in the St. Louis area. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, fighting game that I've been looking for a while. Hear lots of good things about it. Fighting games, again, easy games to pick up and play. Now, I'm not that good at them, so I'm not going to be amazing at it, but again, good game. And Persona World, I still need to play through Persona 4, but I hear that this has... that it has a pretty good story to it. So I also picked up Death Smiles, another game I was looking for. Shoot 'em up that only came out for the Xbox 360, I believe. So again, another uncommon game. One that I was not expecting to pick up was calling for the Wii. I was just kind of looking around as I was at a GameStop that I got something else at, and I saw this. It seemed like a game that wouldn't be very common, a horror game for the Wii. They're not the most common or the most well-sold games, but they are quite popular among collectors. So I looked it up. They had it for like $10, so I got it for like $8, and it goes for maybe 20 online. So I'll probably keep it, but if I don't want to keep it or I decide to get rid of it, I'll definitely be able to get my money back pretty easily. So, and lastly, well, maybe not lastly, but the last GameStop game, a super cheap one actually, Record of Agrest War 0. So I watched some video, I can't remember who it was by, but they had mentioned the Agrest War series, and it looked interesting. I'd seen some at a different store, which I regret not buying or picking up, but it looks like a pretty fun game that I can get into. I'll probably want to play the first one before I play this one, so I'll have to pick that up, but overall looks like a fun game. Another JRPG. Getting to the last stack here. Okay, so the last thing that I picked up in St. Louis, I believe it was called a vintage stock. I've never heard of it before. They have super overpriced games, but they were doing a Memorial Weekend sale for buy two, get one on all their pre-owned games, and they had a lot of uncommon things, or things that I don't see very often, and some of them that I was looking for. So I picked up some. I overpaid for them. I think I paid $35 for like 3 games, and one of them was free. Unfortunately, the free one was just a $10 game, but anyways, probably a fair price, but nothing extraordinary. So first one, Wild Arms, was a $10 game, so I got it for free. Wild Arms 3. Haven't played any of the Wild Arms games, but seems like an interesting series, unique series, so that's something that I want to get into eventually. I don't know if I'll start with 3, but it's something to have, and it was only $10, so I figured it wasn't a horrible deal. Next, another JRPG. This was the $20 one, Romancing Saga. Looks pretty good for a PS2 as far as graphics are concerned, based on the back. Again, it was going for a little bit more online, so it was a decent deal, and it's an Enix game, or Square Enix game, so figured I'd pick it up. It couldn't be that bad, and again, if I needed to get rid of it or didn't like it, I could probably get my monies back. The last game that I picked up there was a game that I've been looking for a while, but I kind of forgot about, in all honesty, just because I was looking for other things and haven't really found a lot of good PS2 games, but it is We Heart or We Love Katamari. So I got the first Katamari game for the PS2 at a garage sale for like $2. Played through the whole thing, really loved it. Then I got Beautiful Katamari. Haven't played through the whole thing, but played through a decent amount of it, I believe. So I kind of wanted to go back to the PS2 roots and see what they changed in that first one, after that first one, because this is a fun series. I kind of like it just because it's wacky, but it's also fun too. So good pickup, and that was $15. But again, got one of the games for free, so I like to think that I got each of them for like $3 less. Another situation where I traded a bunch of stuff in that I picked up at garage sales and things like that. Again, for whatever reasons, lots of JRPGs that I'm not going to get around to playing anytime soon. But before we get to those, the non-JRPGs, the first one is Battle Fantasia. It's a fighting game. I've never heard of it, but again, I like trying out new fighting games. It was like $6, so figured I'd give it a shot, since it was just $6 in credit. Supreme Commander 2, I believe this is a real-time strategy game. Again, I don't know too much about it, but based on the back here, it looked like it'd be a pretty fun game, and it was only like $4, so another good deal. And then, kind of a hidden gem, or something that I had just recently heard about, is Aqua Aqua. Again, it was only like $4. So I picked this up. I feel like I had seen either this game or one very similar to it on the Dreamcast, but I might be incorrect there. So you just, if you can see that in the back, it's a puzzle game where you try to make pools of water. I don't know too much about it, if there's ways to win or if there's like boss battles or anything. Um, but there's different things that raise the earth and some that lower it, and then there's water. So you can put the water into those pools. The bigger you make it or the deeper you make it, the more water you can put in. And I assume that if you can't put all the water in or it leaks out, you lose, something to that effect. So, but again, a very unique idea and a game I wanted to look into. All right, so now we have the 3 JRPGs that I got. These were generally pretty cheap. They're all under $10. I think the most expensive was like $8. Valkyrie Profile 2, $6 I think. Another JRPG for the PS2 that I hear is really good. And another one that I want to try out. I really want to try out all these, but I just don't have the time. And the toughest part for me is deciding which game to start with. So I don't know if I want to play this first, Romancing Saga, go to Wild Arms 3, or any of the other PS3, PS4 games that I have. So another one, Disgaea IV. They had a couple of Disgaea games. I believe I picked this one just because it had the manual in it, yeah. So it's complete. And I don't know too much about the differences between the Disgaea games. This might be the game where they started the stacking mechanic, which I didn't really like when I tried the demo of the 5th one. That was just too confusing for me. I think it would be fine if I started without it, and then it got added. It would make it more interesting, but to start with, it was pretty complex. And then finally, I got The Witch and the Hundred Knight. And I saw this at Trading Games for $10. I had it $8 here. And I was going to get a free game since I got 6 games, so it was a little bit cheaper than that. So I figured it was a good deal. It's in credit, and it seemed like an interesting game. It talks about boss battles, so I don't know if it's like a boss rush game, but it's action RPG. Seemed interesting. I'd never heard of it before, so I figured I'd try it out. It seemed like a game that I would like. The very last game that I have to show off is a game that I believe is more popular for the GameCube, and that's kind of what I would rather have it as. But I got it for $1. Someone was selling it with a bunch of other games for $1 each, and I picked up Alien Hominid for the PS2. So this is kind of your running gun game, kind of like Contra or Metal Slug with a alien twist, I guess you could say. It's supposed to be pretty difficult. So we'll see if I can even get through it, but I think it'll be fun, and it was only $1. So that's everything I have, and before my battery dies, I am going to tell you about some plans that I have for the future. This will probably be the last pickups video. I might do some more later on the road, but what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to create a new series where I will record every pickup I get, and I will track every dollar amount that I pay. And the goal is to, it'll probably be called something like the almost free game collection or almost free video game collecting, because other than travel costs and things like that, what I do for all the games that I have currently is I make sure that I break even on everything. So I'll buy bundles, sell everything else so I can make a profit and keep what I want. Or I'll buy some things for really cheap and sell myself for maybe not full value, but enough to get more money worth so I can kind of add it into the game collection. And so far I've been able to collect all these games with little to no cost aside from travel costs, small things like that. I even kind of put in the shipping costs and all the materials that I have. So I'm going to start that, probably start tracking it on the 15th of June, and then try to have a video up at the beginning of every month. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.